well. But are you still looking for some inspiration to get yourself healthy? Well, my guest this evening is a self-confessed sugar addict and emotional eater. The 25-year-old actress from here in Liverpool has transformed her life from stress eating to healthy eating. She has lost an incredible 8 stone and was a weight loss hero on the Channel 4 show Lose Weight Like Me, which is still available on Channel 4's demand services. You can catch her fun, upbeat video podcast chat show on YouTube called Drinks with MJ, a show which has only one rule: a drink is compulsory. My kind of show. And I'm happy to have her on the show tonight to tell us a bit about her story and, of course, her weight loss journey. Tonight, I'm in conversation with Emily J. Carter. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
It is great to have you on. Now, it's a shame that, obviously we're doing this via Zoom, so I can see you. It's a shame that our listeners can't see you. You got a massive, huge, lovely smile. It's nice to be greeted with such a nice smile.
Thank you.
Awesome. Your smile is making me smile. Yeah, it's making me smile. It's making me happy.
Lovely. Thank you.
So, thank you very much for chatting to us. We're going to delve into a bit of your life, a bit of your journey. I told kind of a bit of your story there in the intro about your weight loss journey. That's some of the things that we're going to touch on. But before we kind of talk about, your appearance on some of the shows that you've been on, obviously some of the inspirational talks you've had since then, we'll have a look at your life before then. So before the Emily I'm looking at now, how would you describe yourself pre-weight loss? What was your kind of relationship with food like when you were a kid?
I love food. That's one thing that has not changed. I am a foodie. I love me food. I love me drink. But I think being a performer and being an actress and being in theatre and production since I was 12, I've always had that confidence sewn into me. I've always had a level of confidence to get up on stage and perform. But I think because I've always been a taller girl, I was like the tallest in my school. I was the tallest in my class. I've always just that outer confidence. I've always never been like fully confident in my body. Mm-hmm. And when I was gaining weight, my confidence was just dishevelled. It was just non-existent. I had no confidence. I was wearing like my dad's coats and my dad's like shirts and tops and stuff just to hide my body away. But when people saw me on the street, who know me, all my life, or family members and people I've known for years, I did put a bit of a facade on because I wanted people to, I didn't want people to think I'd lost who I was. I'd lost that, that MJ, that like upbeat person who I am, and full of life. So when I saw people, even when I did, I did go up to 17 stone and I did put the weight on, I still tried to have that air of like, no, I'm fine. I'm just, just put a bit of weight on. But inside, I wasn't even a shadow of myself. I look back at photos and I think I felt so sorry for the person who I got to through eating, through emotional binge eating. And I look back now and I think, oh my God! But you know what? I'm so grateful of that time because if I never went through that time, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. And it's been the most incredible journey. And when I started to set out to lose weight, I didn't tell anyone. I just thought I'm going to do it for me. And I've been featured across the world. So for that, I'm just eternally grateful.
So was you like when you were a kid, were you quite thin and then you put on a load of weight, or would you say you were like a chubby child throughout most of your youth?
Yeah, I think that my weight completely like yo-yos. I always remember like throughout my childhood, weight has always been a huge factor to me. There was times where I was like really, really like thin and you could like see me ribs. And then there was times where I was bloated all the time, my stomach, my cheeks, because from 5 or 6 years old, I have been a sugar addict. Up to 3 years ago, I was hiding my sugary drink addiction from my family, my mum, my dad, and I was hiding cans of sugary drinks in my cupboards, in my drawers. I was sneaking off in my room and opening the can of sugary drinks. So I've always been a fizzy drink addict up to 3 years ago. So my stomach, even when I was younger, was always bloated. I look back at photos, like candid photos of my childhood, and it's just my stomach on the photos, it's bloated, and it's like, wow. So it stemmed for me from my childhood. I believe that because I do suffer with depression and anxiety, and so I turn to food and drink, soft drinks to, to aid, to fill a void. And it's very, very, it is a common thing. And there's a lot of people out there who do the same. And I do believe it's an illness. I really do. Binge eating and food addiction, I do believe. And it should be spoken about more. And that's what I want to do.
Was it about the taste of the foods then? I mean, I like it. I like to eat myself, but I do like eating really tasty, good food. So for me, if I'm going to eat snacks and stuff, it's because I really like the taste of these things. So for you, was it about you liking the taste, or was it just about, you were feeling a bit down and you just wanted to put something in your mouth type thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the start, when I was like younger, it was just the taste. It was that hit of like the fizziness, and I think just being able to just go to the corner shop and get one, and just have that like independency. And then after a while, when I was getting bigger and my health was deteriorating, it just came robotic. It just came second nature. Go to the corner shop 3 or 4 times a day. If you've read the Daily Mail, you know what the drink was that I loved. That I was addicted to. And so it was just, so after a while, it became robotic. It got to a point where I didn't even taste the drink anymore. It was just, I just had to do it.
Yeah.
It became that part of my lifestyle. The taste wasn't even an equation. It didn't feel good to me. It just felt like I had to do it.
When you were putting on weight as you were kind of getting a bit older, what was your weight gain reaction by like your family or friends? Did people... Because, I mean, is it something people say to you when they see you? Was it like, I know probably family would, because I know whenever I see my family living up here in Liverpool, when I go back down to Birmingham to see my family, because there's such a distance in time, I'll always change somehow. And they definitely tell me, oh, you're enjoying life in Liverpool, ain't you? And they're feeding you. It's always something
Put
different.
It mildly.
It's always something different. So, I mean, when it was with your friends and family, when they were kind of seeing the changes you were going through, were they commenting on anything? Were they kind of saying anything to you?
It caused absolute murder between my mum and my dad. My dad passed away in January of last year, and he is the reason. He is the backbone, the core of why I, created Lose Weight the MJ way, why I'm here today. My health is the best it's ever been. But when I started, because I was a food and sugary drink addict, I was hiding what I was eating from my dad and my mum. So I'd be ordering takeaways at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be on, the laptop would be getting fired up, and I'd be saying on the notes, please don't knock on the window, because my dad slept downstairs. Don't knock on the window. You're going to wake me dad up. I'll come out. Please ring when you're outside. All that, I was doing it. I've lived it. So when I started getting bigger, when I was coming down the stairs after carrying on this lifestyle for a long time, it was my mum and dad. They were saying comments. They were saying stuff like, I feel like crying looking at you. But when they were saying stuff like that over time, it still didn't get to me. It's that the penny still didn't drop, even though my mum and dad were just, they'd never say it in a nasty, malicious way. But it got to the point where it was like, you need to do something now. You need to, and it was a really strain in our relationship, because you could see me health deteriorating. I was having palpitations. There was a period of time where I couldn't go out for 6 months. And so it caused a lot of it caused quite a lot of hostility as well between friends, because my friends were thinking, does she not want to see us? Like, why is she not coming out? And there's only so much you can, say that you're busy or you're working or you're doing something. But my relationship with my parents, my mum and dad, it really did deteriorate. I didn't speak to my mum for like a good month after we had that, when she said she felt like crying looking at me. Because I went very defensive. And when you are going through something with food and your emotions and have an addiction with food, for me, I was just so defensive. I thought, what? I'm a good person. I don't do this. I don't carry on this way. Why are you having a go at me? But if my dad didn't say that evening, I wouldn't be here. So I was eating myself into an early grave, and I'm at a point in my life now that I know that, and I know what it's like. Anyone out there feeling that they're just like, there's no end, they're in a rut, believe me, baby, there is a way out. There is, and I believe that.
We're going to go to a song, and we're going to continue hearing more about your story, Emily. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. You're listening to BBC Radio Merseyside's evening show. Tonight, I am in conversation with local girl Emily J. Carter. Do not go anywhere. We got a little bit of Little Mix.
Stay